How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Ayin Aleph, Daf 71 of Masechta BavaKama. Friends, friends. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, today's Daf is today's Daf. It's pretty interesting. It's like you got to work through it. It's like not a quick daf. But it's relatively interesting. We could just jump in on Aleph, second line of the daf. Gona v'tovach b'yom kippurim v'chulei. So it's talking about a fellow who what did he do? Shimon steals Ruvain's ox and he slaughters it on Yom Kippur. So we say it's chayiv daled v'hei. Now, because Yom Kippur is not Misas Bezdin, right? For doing Malach on Yom Kippur, you're not chayiv Misas Bezdin, you're chayiv Karis, you're not chayiv Misas Bezdin. So because there is no Misas Bezdin, so we say then you're going to pay daled v'hei. So now, says the Gemara, how come there's daled v'hei? Need the Getala Leko, granted, there's no Misas Bezdin, Malchus Mi'ika, but there's Malchus. We're going to whip him. And we hold that if you get Malchus, you don't pay. So therefore, if he slaughters, the ox on Yom Kippur, so then he's going to get Malchus. If he gets Malchus, then he shouldn't have to pay daled v'hei. So Amri Amani Reb Meir the Omar Loike U'Mishalim Bara. Well, this is so. Who's the opinion in our Mishnah says he's going to pay daled v'hei? Reb Meir. That Reb Meir's opinion is Lokum Mishalim Chaver. I think my brain is mushy. That's not good. If my brain is mushy, that's not good because mushy brains means brains that don't think good. How could I? Maybe I could do like a quick brain exercise to like unmush it. Let's see. I'm trying to use my thoughts to I'm closing my eyes. I'm trying to use my thoughts to like massage my brain so that it works good. Okay. I think it's working. So Reb Meir the Amar Loka Mishalim. So our Mishnah is Reb Meir, who says that even if you get Makis, so then you still would pay daled v'hei. So therefore Shimon slaughters Reuven's ox on Yom Kippur that he stole. So it's chayiv Malchus, but also there would be daled v'hei. Reb Meir afilu tovach b'Shabbos. But one second, if we're saying that the Mishnah is Reb Meir, then why are we stopping at Yom Kippur? Say even if he slaughtered it on Shabbos, he would have to pay daled v'hei. But if you're going to suggest that, well, Reb Meir says loka u'mishalim, that when he's chayiv Malchus he still has to pay. But if he's chayiv Misa, i.e. if he would slaughter on Shabbos and do malacha on Shabbos, which have as a chiyuv Misas Bezdin, so then there would be no payment. And that's why we say that Dafka, if he slaughters it on Yom Kippur, then there's daled v'hei. But on Shabbos there would not be daled v'hei v'lo. But is that true? Does Reb Meir really hold that? Does Reb Meir hold that if you're chayiv Misa, then there's no payment? We learn in the Brisa, Gona v'tovach b'Shabbos, that if Shimon steals Reuven's ox and slaughters it on Shabbos, so we're talking about Misas Bezdin over here. If he steals Reuven's ox and slaughters it to serve a getchke for Avodah Zarah, Gonav Haniskol, if he steals an ox that was condemned to be stoned and it's also Ba'ano V'tvacho and he slaughtered it, Mishalem Tashum Abavach Mishra Divrei Meir. Meir says that in all these scenarios he pays daled v'hei. So what did we see just now? We saw that even if he slaughters the animal on Shabbos where there's Misas Bezdin, still there's daled v'hei, right? The Mishnah explicitly said. No, again, what did it say? It said, and the Brisa it said, Gona v'tovach b'Shabbos, Mishalem Abavach Mishra Divrei Meir. Meir says that even if he slaughters on Shabbos, he's going to be chayiv daled v'hei. So we see that it's not limited to Makis, even if there's a Chiv Misas Bezdin. But the Chacham say that he would be potter from daled v'hei. So Amrei bar mine dai, don't bring me kashas from this brisa. Don't bring me kashas from this brisa. Do not bring me kashas from this brisa. Meaning, Reb Meir, we want to say that Reb Meir's opinion is that if he's chayiv makis, so then there would be daled v'hei, like on Yom Kippur. But if it's Shabbos where he's chayiv misa, then there would not be daled v'hei. Well, what about the brisa where it says that on Shabbos there would be daled v'hei? According to Reb Meir, Dua itmar Allah Amar Reb Yaakov Amar Reb Yochanan v'Amar Amar Reb Yirmiyah Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish Reb Oven Reb Illa v'chochabrasa mishmei Reb Yochanan Amrei b'toveach ayidei acher. It's that brisa where it talks about that he'd be chayiv dal v'hei for slaughtering on Shabbos is if somebody else does the shchita, he'd be chayiv dal v'hei. If Shimon stole Ruvain's ox and then somebody else slaughtered it, so then Shimon will be chayiv dal v'hei, but he won't be chayiv misa because he didn't do the slaughtering on Shabbos. So therefore, don't bring me kashas from that brisa because that brisa is not talking about where he's chayiv misa. Somebody else is chayiv misa. It's affecting Gemara, but I don't understand. So how could it be that, let's say Levi is the one that's slaughtering it, right? Shimon steals Reuven's ox, and then Levi slaughters it on Shabbos. So how could it be that Levi is doing the shechita, and yet Shimon is the one who's chayiv dal v'hei? So Amar Rav is shiny hacha. Rav says, I'll tell you why. The Amar Krab, because the pasuk says Utvachum b'char. But let me go back to that for a second, because there was a point that I missed. There's an underlying kind of thing that I forgot to mention, which is meaning this is a reference to Ein Shliach L'Dvar Avera, right? Meaning, right, we learned in Masechta Kiddushin, probably other places, Ein Shliach L'Dvar Avera, that, you know, if in this case, let's say, Shimon is making Levi a shaliach to slaughter this animal for him on Shabbos. So Levi is chayiv, right? Because you can't just say, well, no, Shimon's chayiv for sending him. No, because when it comes to a mitzvah, right, we say divrei Rav, divrei Talmud, divrei mi shomin. So Levi's going to be chayiv. So therefore, we're saying if Levi's chayiv for his own actions, if he's sinning, so then why would Shimon be chayiv to pay? Okay. So Merava says, Rava Shani Yocha, it's different over here, the Amar because the pasuk specifically says, when it comes to Tvicho Mechira, Utvacho Mecharo, Ma Mechira Aide Acher, just like, of course, selling requires another person, right? Shimon's got to sell it to another person. So Af Tvicha Aide Acher, so also slaughtering, there would still be Dal V'hei, even if somebody else does the Shechita. So that is why, if Levi does the Shechita, Shimon will still be chayav dal v'hei. The Rabbi Shmuel Tana, by the Bismeshu Rabbi Shmuel, they gave a different reason for why there would be dal v'hei when Levi does the shechita. Oh, the Rabbi says a shaliach. When it says utvacho o mecharo, o is coming to include even a shaliach. Tvechizkiya Tana, they tell the Bismeshu of Chizkiya. Tachas, the Rabbi says a shaliach. When it says chamisha baka yishalim tachas Hashor ve'arba atzon tachas atzon. I hope I quoted that right. So tachas is coming to include a shaliach. Okay, fine. So that is okay. So where are we? We are at that Reb Meir. We had said in the Mishnah that if he slaughters, right, Shimon steals Reuven's ox and slaughters it on Yom Kippur, he's chayiv dal v'hei. We said, even though he's chayiv makis, he's still chayiv dal v'hei. We said that that's Reb Meir, who says that there is makis umamin. We said, well, if it's Reb Meir, what about the brisa that says that even on Shabbos he would be chayiv dal v'hei? No, don't bring a raya from that brisa, because that brisa is talking about when a messenger did the shechita for him, and yes, he's chayiv dal v'hei, because specifically when it comes to dal v'hei, even a messenger can do it. Fine. Ma'askif Mar Zutra asks a kasha, Mi'ika midi de ilu ovid iu loy michayev. How could it be that you have a scenario where if he would do it himself, right, meaning we're saying that if Shimon himself would slaughter the ox on Shabbos, he would be potter from Dalad Vehei, right, because since he'd be chayev misas bezdin, he'd be potter from Dalad Vehei. So how could it be that if he did it himself, he'd be potter from Dalad Vehei, but now when somebody else does it, he's chayev Dalad Vehei? If he himself did it, he'd be potter. Somebody else does it, he's chayev. So Amr of Ashi, To which Rashi says, no, that's not the right way to understand to interpret what's going on over here. When he himself does it, it's not that he's potter from dalvei, he's chayiv dalvei. The thing is that he's also chayiv misas bezdin. And there's a concept of kamle b'drabmine that when you have two punishments, you get punished with the more severe one. And it's not that if he slaughters, Shimon steals Reuven's ox and slaughters it on Shabbos, it's not that he's potter from dalvei, he's chayiv dalvei, but he's also chayiv misas bezdin. And he's only going to be chayiv, we're only going to punish him with one of the two things that he's chayiv, and therefore we're going to punish him with misas bezdin, but it's not that he's potter from dalvei, he's chayiv misas bezdin. Okay, so we said that brisa where we say that you're chayiv for slaughtering on chayiv dal v'hei for slaughtering on Shabbos, we said that that's dafka aydei shaliach, and Reb Meir says therefore that is why he's chayiv dal v'hei, because he's not actually chayiv misas bezdin. Now we brought all sorts of different reasonings, either because it says utvacho o mecharo, or we compare tvicha to mechira, that it requires another person, or maybe from tachas. We brought all sorts of reasons why when a shaliach does it, there would be dalid v'hei. So if that's the case, my time the Rabbanan depatre. So then why did the Rabbanan say that there's no dalid v'hei? Sami man chacham Reb Shimon. Well, who are the chachamim? Says the Gemara, the chachamim is Reb Shimon's opinion. Is Reb Shimon's opinion? The Amar shchita she'eina ruya lo shma shchita. That Reb Shimon says that shchita she'eina ruya, an improper shchita, is not actually called shchita. And if it's not actually called shchita, so then there's no dalid v'hei. Dalid v'hei is if Shimon stole Reuven's ox and slaughtered it. But if we're saying that if it's an improper slaughter is not actually considered slaughter, well then he didn't slaughter and he's not chayiv dalid v'hei. That would be the opinion of Chachamim ayi, who we're saying is Reb Shimon. So remember, there were three examples in that brisa. There was slaughtering on Shabbos. There was also slaughtering for avodah zarah, and also slaughtering a shora niskel. Right, a shora niskel, of course, is an ox that killed somebody and needs to be killed. So it's also ba'ano. So bishlama avodah zarah v'shora niskel. So I understand why the Chacham would say that you're potter for. I understand why the Chacham would say that you are potter from dalid v'hei because it's a shchita she'eina ruya when it comes to slaughtering for avodah zarah, because the shor becomes also ba'anoah, and therefore it doesn't belong to the owner anymore because it's also ba'anoah. Same thing by a shor niskel, it's also ba'anoah, so it doesn't belong to the owner, so there's no dalid v'hei. Right? It's shchita she'eina ruya. Meaning it's not, I think the point is that, right, it's not slaughtering, it's not, exactly, wait, let me just think for 1 second. Wait, forget what I just said about belonging to the owner. That we're going to get to that later. Forget about that. But I guess when it comes to slaughtering for avodah zarah, I guess that's not a proper shchita if you're slaughtering it to serve avodah zarah. And also, it's not a proper shchita also when it comes to a shora nisko, because again, it's also ba'ano, so it's not a shchita that you can actually it's a kosher shchita that you can then eat. I assume that's the point. So okay, wait. So where are we? Chevra, where are we? We are that the Chachamim had said in that brisa that when it comes to a shaliach slaughtering on Shabbos, or slaughtering for avodah zarah, or slaughtering what was the third one again? Shora niskel. So why did the Chacham say that he'd be potter? It seems that ayidei shaliach he'd be chayiv dalid v'hei. Well, because the Chacham is Reb Shimon, who says that, well, if it's a shchita she'eina ruya, well then it's not shchita, and therefore there's no dalid v'hei. So we're saying, I understand shchita she'eina ruya when it comes to slaughtering for avodah zarah. I understand shchita she'eina ruya when slaughtering a shora niskel. Right, so b'shlom avodah zarah v'shora niskel, shchita she'eina ruya, fine. Ela Shabbos, shchita ruya, ho. But slaughtering an animal on Shabbos, that's nonetheless, we'll go weiter for a second, but it's nonetheless a shchita ru'y. It's a proper shchita that's not as we learn in the Mishnah. Shoichet b'Shabbos of Yom Kippurim. A fellow slaughters on Shabbos or on Yom Kippur. Afal pishim is chayiv b'nafsho, even though he's chayiv on Shabbos, chayiv misas bezdin, and Yom Kippur b'chayiv kares. Shchita so keshera. Nonetheless, the shchita is keshera. So it's shchita keshera. So why would the Chachamim say potter Why would the Chacham say that you'd be potter from Dal V'Hei? You should be chayiv for Dal V'Hei Ayidei Shaliach. So Amri Sav like Rabbi Yechanan Asandler. Well, Rabbi Shimon holds like Rabbi Yechanan Asandler that slaughtering on Shabbos would be shchita she'ena re'uya. The Tanan is learned in Mishnah Mavashal b'shogeg b'Shabbos. A fellow cooks accidentally on Shabbos. B'shog. Wait, what? I don't know what I just said. Hamavashal b'Shabbos. If a fellow cooks on Shabbos, if it's b'shogeg yochal b'mezid yochal divrei Meir. So Reb Meir's opinion is that if you cooked on Shabbos, if it was by accident, okay, so we said you can eat it even on Shabbos. If it's by accident, it was an accident, you can eat it. If it was intentional, well then you cannot eat it on Shabbos, but you can eat it on Motzoi Shabbos, if I understand correctly. Rabbi Yehuda Omer says, look, if it's b'shogeg yochal Motzoi Shabbos, if it was by accident, you cannot eat it on Shabbos, but you can eat it on Motzoi Shabbos. B'mezid, if it was intentional, l'yochal olamis, you can never eat it, but I believe other people would be able to eat it. Now, Rabbi Yechanan Asandler Omer, but says Rabbi Yechanan Asandler b'shogeg, if it's by accident, yochel Motzoi Shabbos, la'acherim, other people can eat it on Motzoi Shabbos, v'lo lo, he cannot. B'mezid, but if he intentionally cooked on Shabbos, lo yochal olamis, he can never eat it, lo v'lo la'acherim, not him, and not anybody else. And I believe, and then we apply this to shchita as well. Yeah, meaning I think the point is that, just like, by cooking, we're saying if you do it intentionally or unintentionally, so the same thing by shchita. If you intentionally slaughtered this animal on Shabbos, then it is completely also in a shchita she'ena you can't eat the animal. So therefore, Reb Shimon holds like Rabbi Yochanan Asandler that if you intentionally slaughter an animal on Shabbos, it is shchita she'ena re'uya. Okay, fine. My time Rabbi Yochanan Asandler. How come Rabbi Yochanan Asandler says this? It's like Reb Chia darshaned by the entrance to the Vei Nesiyah. Ushmartem es haShabbos, that you shall, the pasuk says, you shall guard the holy Shabbos, ki kadosh hu, because it's holy, lachem, to you. Ma kodesh asur ba'achila, af ma'aseh Shabbos asur ba'achila. Just like kodshim, right? You can't eat kodshim unless it's kind of after already, but it's been offered in the mizbech and stuff. But otherwise, you can't eat it. So, or like, okay, whatever. Kodesh asur ba'achila, af ma'aseh Shabbos asur ba'achila. So oichet ma'aseh Shabbos. If you if you slaughter an animal on Shabbos, you can't eat it. U'makodesh asur ba'anoah. But I'll suggest, that just like Kodesh is also ba'ano, so also Maaseh Shabbos should be also, right? Just like Kodesh, right? Something that's hektish, you can't get benefit from it. It would be meila otherwise. So also Maaseh Shabbos, I would say it's also ba'ano. So Talmud Omer lochem shalochem yehei. It says lochem. There's a shmartim Shabbos Kodesh ilochem. It's yours. It's not also ba'ano. Yochel afilu b'shogeg. Is it possible that even b'shogeg it would be also? Tamlom mchaloleo, most you must, that b'mezid amarti l'chavlo b'shogeg, only for if intentionally you do it, then it's a problem, but not if you did it by accident. Okay, fine. So that's what Yechanan Asandler's opinion, that even that therefore intentional shchita on Shabbos would be also, and therefore it's shchita she'ena re'uya. Fine. Pligi bar Rav Acha v'Ravina. Now it's machlokes Rav Acha and Ravina. Chadomer ma'aseh Shabbos the oraisa, v'chadomer ma'aseh Shabbos the rabbanon. I believe that they're talking about Rabbi Yochanan Asandler's opinion, meaning Rabbi Yochanan Asandler who says that ma'aseh Shabbos is also ba'achila. So the shayla is that midoraisa midorabbanon. So one of them says that it's going to be also ba'achila midoraisa. The other one says it's only midorabbanon. Madam midoraisa kedamarin. According to the opinion that it's also midoraisa, it's like we explained right from the pasuk of Shmartim Yom Shabbos. Uman de Omar derabbanon, and the opinion says derabbanon Omar Kra. He says, look, the pasuk says Kodesh who Kodesh, and then Ma'aseh Shab Ma'aseh Kodesh. That Shabbos is Kodesh, I guess, but not but not the things that you do on Shabbos. Even if you slaughtered an animal on Shabbos, it wouldn't be kodesh. It wouldn't be treated like kodesh. You would be able to eat it. So I understand if you say that it's also mida oraisa, amtu la'achi pater rabbanon. So if you say that we're saying that mida oraisa, if you slaughter an animal on Shabbos, you're not allowed to eat it. So therefore it's shchita she'eina re'uya. And the chacham who we're saying is Reb Shimon, who says that shchita she'eina re'uya lo shmei shchita. So therefore I understand why you'd be patur from dal v'hei, right? The chacham are saying in that brisa that it says that if you slaughter an animal, that if Shimon steals Reuven's animal and he slaughters it on Shabbos, so then he would be patur from dal v'hei, because we're saying, look, mida oraisa, if you slaughter an animal on Shabbos, it's also ba'achila, so therefore shchita she'eina re'uya, and Reb Shimon says shchita she'eina re'uya lo shma shchita, therefore he didn't actually shecht it. If he didn't shecht it, then there's no dal v'hei. But if you say that it's only also midrabanan, but meikar adin it's actual shchita, so then you should be chayiv dal v'hei. Ashayre avodah zarah v'shor aniskol. Good point. When the chacham say that he patur from dal v'hei, it is not for, according to that opinion, who says that mida oraisa it's mutter to eat. So then you would be chayiv for dal v'hei for if a shaliach slaughtered on Shabbos, but you would be patur from dal v'hei for slaughtering for avodah zarah and for and slaughtering a shor niskol. So that opinion would say, the opinion who says that it's only also midrabanan would say that when the chacham say that you chayiv for dal v'hei, it's specifically by slaughtering for avodah zarah and slaughtering a shor niskol, but you would be chayiv dal, right? You'd be patur for dal. You'd be chayiv dal v'hei in those cases. You'd be patur for dal v'hei. Wait, what? No. Sorry. No, the chacham say you'd be patur for dal v'hei when it comes to slaughtering for avodah zarah as well as slaughtering shor niskol, but you'd be chayav for dal v'hei when it comes to slaughtering on Shabbos. If it's if midoraisa is permitted, it's only also midorabanan. Wow, woo. Okay, so now, in fact, the Gemara v'Rab Meir amay mechayev shoychid la'avodah zarah. So now, as I sort of got into a few minutes ago prematurely, and Reb Meir had said that if this other Levi Shimon steals Reuben's ox, Levi slaughters it for avodah zarah, so there's going to be daled v'hei. But the question is, once Levi starts slaughtering the animal for avodah zarah, it immediately becomes asur ba'anoya, which means that, if I understand correctly, Reuven no longer owns it, right? So meaning it becomes asur ba'anoah, so it's no longer Reuven's, and therefore you're not slaughtering Reuven's ox, and therefore you should be patur from dal v'hei. You'd only be chayiv dal v'hei at the end of the shechita, but it'd already be asur from the beginning of the shechita, once the incision begins. So therefore, why would you be chayiv for dal v'hei? Because at the point when you finish the shechita, which is when you be chayiv dal v'hei, it's already not Reuven's anymore. So Reb Meir amay mechayev shoychid la'avodah zarah, why would Shimon be chayiv dal v'hei when in the scenario of shoychid la'avodah zarah? Came the shachad b'porta, because after all, once the shechita starts a little bit, asra, it already becomes asur ba'anoya. Idach, and the rest of the shechita, isuri anoya hu, it's already asur ba'anoya v'lo demari katavach, and he's not slaughtering. It's not, if I understand correctly, we're talking about Reuven's. You're no longer slaughtering Reuven's ox at that point, because it's already asur ba'anoah, and you're only going to be chayiv dal v'hei at the end of the shechita. So therefore, why is it dal v'hei? Omer Rava says Rava, but Omer bigmazvicha hu ovda. Well, specifically when he's slaughtering it, he says, look, it's specifically at the end of the zvicha that is how I'm going to be worshipping this getchke at the end of the shechita, but not at the beginning. So therefore, the chiyuv daled v'hei and the isur anoah come at the end of the shechita at the same time, and that is why it'd be chayiv daled v'hei. On my Rava says Rava. Wait, where am I? Fine. Now shor niskol. Now we ask a similar question by shor niskol. Why should there be chiyuv daled v'hei by shor niskol? Right, meaning if you have an ox that is it needs to be stoned. So then it's also bano. So if that's the case, if it's also bano, then it doesn't belong to Reuven anymore. So why should he be chayav dal v'hei? Right? It's also bano. So lav demari katovach. So at the end of the day, he's not slaughtering Reuven's ox. So why should he be chayav dal v'hei? So Omar Rava, listen up, says Rava. Hachab my skin, and here what are we talking about? Kigon shemisaro la shomer. You hear this? Reuven, who's the owner of the ox, had given the ox to a custodian. Now, at the time that Reuven had given the ox to a custodian, remember we're talking about a shor and iskal. At the time that Reuven had given the ox to a custodian, it was a perfectly innocent, pure ox, never hurt a fly. V'hizik b'beis shomer, and then once it was in the house of the custodian, maybe the custodian was watching a bunch of oxes, and that ox kind of fell in with the wrong ox crowd, and v'hizik b'beis shomer, and then while it was in the house of the shomer, it started getting acting up, and it caused damage. V'huad b'beis shomer, and it went downhill, became a shor amuad. V'nigmar dino b'beis shomer, and sure enough, he killed somebody, a person. Now he's chayiv skila. All happening b'beis hashomer. All of this is happening at the custodian's house. So Reb Meir sovla Reb Yaakov v'sovla Reb Shimon. Reb Meir holds like both Reb Yaakov and Reb Shimon. Sovla Reb Yaakov, he holds like Reb Yaakov Damer, who said, "Af mishenigmar dino hechziru shomer levaylev muchzer." That Reb Yaakov's opinion is that even once the shor is chayiv skila, and basically it's about to get stoned, still, if the custodian returns the ox to Reuven, he's not going to have to pay Reuven back for the fact that the ox needs to get stoned. If he gives back the ox to Reuven, he doesn't need to pay Reuven anything else. V'savar l'Reb Shimon, he also holds like Reb Shimon, davar agorem limamen kimamen dami. That something that can, cause money is like money. Meaning, if Bezdin would stone the ox before the custodian returned it to Shimon, he would have to return it to Reuven. So then the custodian would have to pay Reuven for the ox. He doesn't have it. He has to pay him for it. However, if he returns the ox, even though it's a shor that is about to be stoned by Bezdin, but if the custodian returns it to Reuven, that's it. He doesn't have to pay any more money. So it's sort of the shor and niskal, even though it's also banoah, it has value in that it can save the custodian from having to pay money, right? It's causing him. It's in place of payment, right? This cow is. By returning it, he now does, right? Now it has value. Now the custodian doesn't have to pay any money to Reuven. And davar gorim l'mamun k'mamun dami, and something that can represent value or can cause value, we treat like mamun itself. And if we treat like mamun itself, so then it is, so it's going to be considered like it's his, and therefore, he's going to be chayiv for it's right. It's going to be chayiv for dalvei, because it's considered like it's owned. The Tanan is willing to Mishnah. Reb Shimon Omer says Reb Shimon kodshim shechay b'achrayusan. So let's say Reuven had been makdish. No, so let's say Reuven had said, "I'm going to bring a korban to the Beis Hamikdash," and then he sets aside this animal. And then comes Shimon and he steals it. So now, because Reuven had said, "I'm going to bring a korban," and not "I'm going to bring this specific animal as a korban," but since he said, "I'm going to bring a korban," well, when Shimon stole this animal, Reuven now has to bring another animal. So because the animal that was stolen is going to now cause Reuven to have to bring another animal, so it kind of causes money. So therefore, Shimon's going to have to pay kefel for it. So we see that something that can cause payment is like money itself. It's considered like it's I think owned by Reuven, and therefore that's why there's kefel, even though it's kachim. Okay, and that is why in the case of Shor Niskol, that is why there would still be Daled Vehei. Meaning, because we're talking about this Shomer, that there was a Shor Niskol by the Shomer, and because it's a Davar Gorim the moment that it could save him from having to pay back Reuven, that is why there's Daled Vehei. Amr of Kahana says of Kahana, Misa the Shmaita Kamit to Rav Zvid. I said over the Sugi before Rav Zvid, Minardog, and he said, Mimotzis Mukmas Masnisin Krab Meir V'lo Krab Shimon. How could it be possible to say that the Mishnah is specifically Rab Meir and not Rab Shimon? Right? How can we say that the Mishnah is specifically Rab Meir's opinion, which is what we want to say, right? That's why we're talking about right? That when we say that he's going to be Chayiv Dalavei for Yom Kippur, because even though he's Chayiv Malkus, is still Mammon. But how can you say that it's Dafka Rab Meir and not Rab Shimon? Vakatani Seifa, it says at the end of the Mishnah, Rab Shimon Poter Bishnei Elu, that Rab Shimon says that he'd be Poter for Daled Vehei when it comes to slaughtering for Avodah Zarah, as well as Chulin Ba'azara. Michla, which implies the Bechul Mas Nisan Modeh, which means that up until then, Rab Shimon agrees with Rab Meir. So it sounds like up until then, the Mishnah is both Rab Meir and Rab Shimon. So, Omar Lei, Lo, Michlal de Modeh B'Tavach V'Macher, L'Refua V'Leklavim. I'm sorry, Lo, Michlal de Modeh B'Tavach V'Macher, rather, L'Refua V'Leklavim. Okay. Right. Okay. So it's not saying that Reb Shimon agrees that he'd be chayiv Daled Vehei in all of those other scenarios. No, what he's saying is that when you slaughter for Avodah Zarah or Chulin Ba'azara, that would be Shcheta She'ena Re'uya, and therefore there would be no Daled Vehei. All he's saying is that if you slaughter L'Refua or L'Klavim, it would be considered Shchita. That's all he's saying. But he's not necessarily agreeing that he'd be chayiv Daled Vehei there. He's just saying that it would not be considered Shchita She'ena Re'uya. Okay, fine. That was Daf Ayin Aleph of Masechta BavaKama. Hope you enjoy. Peace out.